Year, one single month. Silver, $120, up 65% in 30 days. This is the biggest wealth transfer in modern history. And it is happening right now. While you scroll, while you wait for someone on TV to tell you what to do, they are not hoping. They are not waiting. They are accumulating every single day. 140 tons of physical gold, $24 billion, sitting in a nuclear bunker in the Swiss Alps behind steel doors built to survive World War II. Most people will never know this information exists. The mainstream financial media will not cover it. Your bank will not tell you because what is happening right now threatens the entire system they profit from. But by the end of this video, you will know everything. You will know exactly who this whale is and why they are hoarding gold like the financial system is about to collapse. You will discover there is not just one whale, there is a second, even bigger, even more powerful, accumulating over 6,000 tons of gold while building a system to replace the US dollar. You will understand why silver might be the single greatest opportunity of the next decade, and I am going to give you 3 specific predictions for the next few days. On the record, so stay with me. This is important. Welcome to the hidden economy. Subscribe right now and join the hundreds of thousands who refuse to be kept in the dark. Now, let me show you what most people will never see. Let us start with the numbers, because numbers do not lie. Gold finished 2025 up 65%. The best year since 1979, but that was last year. This year we are barely through January. Gold is already up another 30%. If you had put $10,000 in gold on January 1st, you would have $13,000 today, $3,000 in 1 month for doing nothing. But gold is the slow one. Silver is where things get crazy. Silver finished 2025 up 150%, and this year, January alone, silver is up another 65%. Silver just touched $120 per ounce. The previous all-time high was $49. That record stood for 45 years. Nobody could touch it. Silver did not just break it, silver more than doubled it, and it is still climbing. While you were living your normal life, this was happening, and here is what keeps me up at night. This is not random. This is not retail traders on Reddit. There is a buyer, a massive systematic buyer, accumulating gold at a pace that makes most countries look like amateurs. Now, let me tell you something that will completely shift your perspective. There are 195 countries in the world. How many of them actually own gold? Only 106. 89 nations have nothing. 0. Empty vaults. But here is where it gets uncomfortable. Canada has 0 gold. Canada, one of the wealthiest nations on Earth, the 4th largest gold producer in the world, home to Barrick Gold, Kinross, Agnico Eagle, and Canada, has 0 gold reserves. Not 1 bar, not 1 ounce. You know what? The Bank of Canada said, gold does not fit well within the asset matching framework. Translation, they decided to trust US dollars instead of gold. Norway, one of the richest countries per person, they had 37 tons. In 2004, they sold everything, gone. Australia, massive gold producer, tiny reserves. New Zealand, 0. These wealthy nations looked at America and said, we trust you. We will just hold your paper promises. Trust me, brokenomics. And while they were selling their gold for paper, someone else was buying. This first whale now owns 140 tons of physical gold. More than Greece, more than Qatar, more than Australia, more than Belgium, Philippines, Finland, and Bolivia combined. More than 85 countries. They are ranked among the top 30 gold holders in the entire world, sitting at the same table as nations. And they are not slowing down. They are buying it day by day, billions of dollars per month. Now, I am going to tell you who they are, but I need you to keep watching after I reveal this name, because knowing who they are is just the first layer. Understanding why they are doing this is where it gets disturbing, and understanding what they are planning is where it gets terrifying. The first whale is called Tether. Some of you recognize that name, some of you do not. Let me explain it simply. Tether created USDT. It is called a stable coin. Think of it like digital dollars. 1 USDT is supposed to equal 1 US dollar. Millions of people around the world use it to move money, to trade, to store value outside the traditional banking system. $187 billion worth of USDT in circulation right now. That makes Tether one of the largest financial entities on Earth. Bigger than most banks, bigger than most countries' entire economies. And this company has been buying physical gold like the financial system is about to collapse. Every single thing I'm telling you is documented, public information that somehow nobody is discussing. Now here's the question that should haunt you. Why? Why is Tether buying gold at a pace that exceeds most nations? The CEO, Paolo Arduino, said something in a Bloomberg interview that I cannot stop thinking about. He said, "We are soon becoming basically one of the biggest gold central banks in the world." He did not say gold holder. He did not say investor. He said gold central bank. He also said he expects geopolitical rivals of the United States to launch a gold-backed alternative to the dollar. And when that happens, Tether wants to be the central bank for that new system. The CEO of a company with nearly $200 billion in circulation is publicly betting that the dollar's dominance is ending. This is not some random person on the internet. This is a billionaire putting $1 billion per month into gold. And I wish I could tell you that is the worst of it. But it gets worse. You want to know where they keep all this gold? In a former Cold War nuclear bunker buried deep in the Swiss Alps, built during the 1960s to survive nuclear war, Arduino called it a James Bond kind of place. Thick steel doors designed to withstand a bomb blast, multiple layers of armed security, a fortress built to survive the end of civilization. And every single week, more gold gets hauled into this underground vault, while you're going to work, while you're paying rent, while you're wondering why everything keeps getting more expensive. They're filling a nuclear bunker with gold. Now you might be thinking, okay, one whale is buying gold. Interesting, but maybe isolated. I thought that too at first. But then I discovered the second whale, and this one makes Tether look small. The second whale holds over 6,000 tons of gold, worth more than $500 billion at current prices. And they are not just buying gold. They are building an entirely new financial system, a gold-backed system designed to replace the US dollar. They launched the first version on October 31st, 2025. Let me tell you who they are. The second whale is BRICS: Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, plus Egypt, Ethiopia, Indonesia, Iran, the United Arab Emirates. More countries joining every year. The list keeps growing. Together they represent 45% of the world's population, over 35% of global GDP, more than half of the world's oil production. This is not a fringe group. This is almost half of humanity working together toward a common goal. Between 2020 and 2024, BRICS central banks purchased more than 50% of all gold bought globally. Let that sink in. More than half of all gold purchased on Earth went to this one group of nations. China now has over 2,200 tons. And those are just the official numbers. Many analysts believe the real number is much higher. Russia has over 2,300 tons. They have been preparing for this moment for years. India has 880 tons and climbing fast. They just keep buying. Combined, BRICS holds over 6,000 tons of gold. That is more than most people can even comprehend. But they are not just hoarding gold. They are building something with it, something that could change everything. On October 31st, 2025, BRICS launched something called the Unit. The Unit is a new system for international trade settlement. It is designed specifically to allow countries to trade with each other without using US dollars. No more depending on the American financial system. No more risk of sanctions. No more dollar dominance. 40% of the Unit is backed by physical gold in real vaults. 60% is backed by a basket of BRICS currencies. The Chinese yuan, the Russian ruble, the Indian rupee, the Brazilian real, the South African rand. This is not theory. This is not a white paper. This is not some plan for 10 years from now. They launched it. 100 units were issued on October 31st, each unit linked to 1 gram of gold, a working prototype of a new financial system. And here's what most Americans do not realize. Russia and China already conduct almost 90% of their bilateral trade in their own currencies. No dollars, none. Zero. The dollarization of global trade is not coming. It is already here. It is happening right now while most people are completely unaware. Now remember what Tether's CEO said. He expects geopolitical rivals to launch a gold-backed alternative to the dollar. He was not making a prediction. He was watching it unfold and positioning himself to profit from it. These two whales see the same future coming. They are both racing to accumulate as much gold as possible before everyone else figures out what is happening. And here is what should terrify you. These two whales are not competing with each other. They are converging, moving toward the same future, a future where gold is money again and the dollar just paper. One is a private company preparing to become the gold central bank of a new system. The other is half of humanity building that system right now. And you're just finding out today. Now I need to talk about silver. And I know I probably sound like that guy at the party who will not stop talking about precious metals, but stay with me because what is happening in silver might be the most asymmetric opportunity I have seen in my entire career. Most people think silver just follows gold. Gold goes up, silver goes up. That is dangerously wrong. Silver does not follow gold. Silver outperforms gold every single cycle. 2025, gold gained 65%. Silver gained 150%, more than double. January 2026, gold gained 30%. Silver gained 65%. Again, more than double. This is a pattern based on something called the gold to silver ratio. The gold to silver ratio tells you how many ounces of silver equals 1 ounce of gold. Historically, this ratio averages around 50 to 60. In April 2025, this ratio spiked above 100. Silver was absurdly undervalued. What happened next? Silver exploded. But here is what makes silver even more interesting. Gold is primarily a monetary metal, store of value, jewelry. Silver is monetary and industrial, dual demand solar panels. Every single one requires silver. The solar industry consumes over 25% of all silver min globally. Electric vehicles. Every EV contains 25 to 50 joules of silver, 3 times more than a gasoline car. AI data centers, those massive buildings powering ChatGPT. They require enormous electrical infrastructure. Silver has the highest electrical conductivity of any element. Nothing else comes close. In 2025, the US government added silver to the critical minerals list, right alongside lithium and rare earths, national security. But supply is collapsing. Silver mine production has been declining for over a decade. 2025 marked the 5th consecutive year of supply deficit. And here's something most people have never heard. This might be the most important thing I tell you today. There's less investable silver above ground than gold. Let me say that again because it sounds impossible. Gold is more expensive. Gold is more prestigious. Gold is what central banks hoard. But there is actually less available silver in the world than gold. How is that possible? Because silver gets consumed, used up, destroyed in industrial processes. The silver in your phone, in your laptop, in your car, it will never be recovered. It is gone forever, scattered in landfills across the planet. Gold just sits in vaults. It gets recycled. It persists for centuries. Total above-ground investable silver around 1 to 2 billion ounces. Total above-ground gold around 6 billion ounces. There's potentially 3 to 6 times more available gold than silver. Yet silver is priced at a tiny fraction of gold. Do you see the asymmetry? Do you see the opportunity? And then in December 2025, China dropped a bomb. Export restrictions on silver. Elon Musk himself tweeted about it. He said, "This is not good. Silver is needed in many industrial processes. When Elon Musk is publicly warning about silver supply, something significant is happening. Demand exploding, supply collapsing, less silver than gold, 5 consecutive years of deficit, China restricting exports. What do you think happens to price?" Exactly what we are seeing. It goes vertical. Now let me show you the bigger picture of what is driving all of this. The US dollar just experienced its worst decline since 1973. You know what happened in 1973? That was the year America officially ended the gold standard. The year President Nixon said the dollar would no longer be backed by gold. The year paper became purely paper. For 50 years, the world went along with it. They trusted the paper. They held dollars. They traded in dollars. They built their entire financial systems around dollars. That trust is now cracking. The dollar has dropped over 10% against major currencies in just 6 months. The Federal Reserve is under political attack. The Department of Justice has opened investigations into Fed Chair Jerome Powell. The independence of the central bank is being questioned publicly for the first time in decades. Foreign countries are dumping treasury bonds. They're reducing dollar reserves. They are building alternative systems. The foundation is shaking. And when the foundation of a currency shakes, capital flees to safety. Where does it go? To gold, to silver, to hard assets that have been money for 5,000 years, to things that cannot be printed by a committee in Washington? The last time conditions looked like this in the late 1970s, gold went from $35 per ounce to over $800, a 23 times increase. People who positioned themselves early in that cycle built generational wealth, wealth that their grandchildren still benefit from today. People who ignored the signs, watched their savings lose purchasing power for an entire decade. They worked harder and harder just to stay in the same place. Are we watching history repeat now? I promised you predictions. Specific predictions on the record. Here they are. Prediction 1, gold breaks $6,000 before the end of March. Here's why. Central bank buying is running at 60 tons per month. BRICS nations are accelerating purchases before their next summit. Tether alone is adding 4 to 8 tons monthly at this pace of demand with constrained supply. 6,000 is almost mathematical. Every single dip gets bought within hours. The buyers are relentless. Prediction 2, silver breaks $150 within 60 days. The reasoning is simple. The supply deficit is now acute, not theoretical. Acute. The gold to silver ratio still has significant room to compress. Industrial. Demand is not optional, it is structural. Solar panels need silver. EVs need silver. AI needs silver. There is no substitute. When silver moves, it moves fast, because the market is tiny compared to gold. 150 is actually conservative if the ratio normalizes to historical averages. Prediction 3. At least one more major economy announces significant gold purchases before the end of February. The BRICS momentum is accelerating. Countries are watching each other. Nobody wants to be the last one holding only paper when the music stops. I expect an announcement within weeks, not months. Watch for it. Screenshot this video. Save these predictions. Come back in a few days and tell me if I was right. I will make a follow-up video and we will go through these together. Right or wrong, I will own it publicly. Now let me give you 3 scenarios for what could happen from here. I've given each one a name so you remember them. Scenario 1, the steady climb. Gold and silver continue rising at the current pace. 10% here, 15% there. Central banks keep accumulating. BRICS keeps building their system. The dollar weakens gradually over several years. No dramatic crash, just slow erosion of purchasing power. Your savings lose value, not overnight, but month by month, year by year. This is the most likely scenario. And honestly, it might be the most dangerous because it happens so slowly that most people never notice until it is too late. Scenario 2, the avalanche. Something breaks. A banking crisis, a currency crisis, a major geopolitical event. Confidence collapses suddenly. Gold spikes to 8,000 or higher, silver to 200. The transition that was supposed to take years happens in months. Everyone panics into hard assets at once. Supply cannot meet demand. Premiums explode. People who waited too long cannot get physical metal at any price. This scenario is possible, maybe even probable given current tensions. Scenario 3, the fake out. The Fed pivots aggressively. They raise rates to defend the dollar. Confidence temporarily returns. Gold and silver correct hard, maybe 30% or more. People who bought at the top get shaken out. They sell at the worst possible moment. Then 6 months later, the underlying problems resurface. The rally resumes even stronger. This would be the most painful scenario for people who do not understand what they own, and the most profitable for those who do. Which scenario do you think is coming? Drop your answer in the comments. I read every single one, and I will pin the most insightful prediction. Now, let me be very clear about something. I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. I'm a researcher who has spent hundreds of hours studying these trends. I'm sharing what I have found. What you do with it is your decision and your responsibility. There are real risks here. Gold and silver can be volatile. We have seen 30% drops before. It can happen again. Nothing in markets is guaranteed. But here is what I know with certainty. The biggest players in the world, the ones with billions of dollars, the ones running companies and governments, they are making moves, big moves. And those moves all point the same direction away from paper toward gold and silver, toward hard assets. The question is not whether change is coming. The change is already here. The question is which side of that change you will be on. The first step is awareness. You now have that. You know things that 99% of people do not know. The second step is education. Go deeper on anything that resonated with you today. Verify what I said. Do your own research. The third step is preparation. Look at your own situation. Where are your savings? What are they denominated in? Let me leave you with this. Imagine the global financial system is a giant game of musical chairs. The music has been playing for 50 years. Everyone is dancing around, trusting that when the music stops, there will be a chair for them. But some players have noticed something. The chairs are disappearing one by one quietly. And while everyone keeps dancing, and the smart players, they stop dancing. They started grabbing chairs. Tether grabbed 140 tons worth of chairs. They are still grabbing more every single week. BRICS grabbed 6,000 tons worth of chairs. They are building a whole new section of chairs just for themselves. Central banks around the world are grabbing chairs. And most regular people still dancing, still distracted, still trusting that a chair will be there when they need it. When the music stops, and it always stops eventually, there will not be enough chairs for everyone. That is not pessimism. That is not doom and gloom. That is mathematics, simple supply and demand. The question is brutally simple. Will you have a chair? At the beginning of this video, I told you one whale bought more gold than 85 countries combined. Now you know there are 2 whales both racing to accumulate gold before the music stops, both preparing for a future that most people cannot even imagine. The question is not whether you were asleep before. The question is whether you are awake now. Drop your valuable feedback about the video in the comments right now, and I will pin the most insightful comment so everyone can see who understood this moment. I am going to make more exciting videos about gold and silver because we are in a very exciting phase where anything can happen. And join my channel if you want to support my efforts. Also, end this video to one person who needs to see it. Just one, a family member, a friend, a colleague, someone who is still dancing while the chairs disappear. And if you're not subscribed yet, fix that right now. Hit subscribe. Hit the notification bell because this is just the beginning of what I am going to show you. I work hard to bring a new angle to the story and make sure everyone understands it. You are going to remember sitting here watching this video, learning about the two whales racing to accumulate gold while the world was distracted. And you will say one of two things. You will say, I saw it coming. I prepared. I protected myself and the people I love. Or you will say, I wish I had paid attention when I had the chance. That choice is being made right now, not tomorrow, not next week. Right now. I will see you in the next.